Let's start with an update on America's escalating conflict with Venezuela. While it may seem to have come out of nowhere, it dates all the way back to the Mesozoic era, when oil formed under the Earth's surface, which Venezuela then greedily parked on top of. And now this conflict's heating up.
We turn to that major escalation off the coast of Venezuela. American forces seizing an oil tanker seen in this dramatic video here.
The Department of Homeland Security shared the footage set to the song Mama Said Knock You Out.
Oh my God, does everything have to be content these days? Can't we just take other countries' oil for the love of the game? I will say I am so glad that we didn't have social media during World War II. Imagine if you saw a video of your grandpa storming the beaches of Normandy while Wet Ass P by Cardi B plays. I almost feel bad for conservative media. It's like they're suffering from an outrage shortage under Trump. Merry Christmas is back. We can say the R word again. Let's see, are there any gay fonts? And of course, Newsmax had to make this whole idea of a font called Calibri sound suspiciously ethnic?
He's ordering every U.S. diplomat worldwide to stop immediately using that Calibri? Calibri
Akbar? Kala Mamdani? Whatever happened to good old American font names like Kyle or Chad? Look, let's not forget about the real victim in all this. Of course, I'm talking about the man who designed the Calibri font. And before I show you who that is, just take a moment to picture in your mind what this professional font designer might look like. Because you're correct.
Joining me now, Luke de Groot, the designer who created the Calibri font. Really appreciate you joining us today.
I mean, has anyone in history ever been more font designer than this guy? He only had two options in his life, this or killing James Bond.
This fall.
We got another one.
Status?
He's bleeding out. We're losing him.
I decide when we're losing him.
A groundbreaking new medical drama.
We lost him. Time of death, 5:22. Cause of death? The COVID vaccine.
RFK Hospital.
Sick of this!
The only hospital brave enough to follow the medical advice of America's health secretary.
It's all right, trying to squeeze in lunch. What are you looking at?
We have a patient with a strange virus that's weakening his immune system.
Interesting. Has he been swimming in any raw sewage?
Not that I know of.
That's your problem right there. Have him spend a few hours in fecal matter creek. He'll be better in no time.
Led by a doctor who knows that medical science doesn't have to be based on anything in particular.
Come on. I told you never interrupt me when I do pull-ups in jeans.
Sorry, but we have a patient with a fractured clavicle. Should I administer painkillers?
And give the patient autism? No, thank you.
Well, should I take an x-ray?
And give the patient more autism? Give him 20 cc's of raw milk and get the fluoride out of his water. Now! Let's start with the fun news. Super Bowl Licks is right around the corner, and everyone's excited for the Bad Bunny halftime show. And by everyone, I mean the radical woke communists who hate America.
The NFL just chose the Bad Bunny Rabbit or whatever his name, this guy who hates ice.
And he doesn't sing in English.
Someone who hates America.
Who wants to watch a man wearing a dress anyway?
It is woke puke.
Bad Bunny's lyrics contain every sexual term possible in the most explicit and severe sexual terminology possible.
The lyric is, where are the horny ladies? One more dance and we're going to call the Vatican. I was in hell when I found a devil. I mean, is this who you want as your halftime entertainment?
I mean, oh my God. Is anyone else as mad and horny as I am right now? So yeah, there's no way Americans are gonna wanna watch a performance by the most popular musician in America. But good news, there's a halftime alternative. And it's not just turning that 7-layer dip into a 7-layer poop.
If you want to tune out the woke nonsense that the NFL is promoting during the halftime show, then tune in to Turning Point USA's All-American Halftime Show. Their lineup just dropped, friends, and it's fire. Now, this Sunday, Patriots like Kid Rock, Brantley Gilbert, Lee Brice, and Gabby Barrett are performing right when halftime starts for the NFL.
Woo! Huh? Man, that is a real who's who of who? We've got Gabby Barrett, Brantley Gilbert, Garby Billett, Billy Garbett, Breely Grabbers, Bobby Glaber, Gaggy Bobbles, Barnacle Gasperty, Babette Gingletree, Hologram Hulk Hogan, Gregory Banklebob, Kid Rock, and Kid Rock's father, Adult Rock. So look, I do get the joy of canceling plans. No one loves bailing on drinks or a work dinner or my kid's piano recital more than me, but you can't cancel elections. Voting is the most American thing you can do besides, well, not voting. And forgive me for being serious for a moment, but the president suggesting that he might cancel the midterms appears to be the inflection point toward a dictatorship from which our nation cannot return. This is serious.
The president was simply joking.
That was a joke. Forget it. It was a joke. Phew, that is a relief. Oh, my God. I guess I was worried that it wasn't a joke because it's a little unusual for a president to joke about canceling an election. And also, this particular president actually did try to overturn an election. So I guess I don't get the joke? Can someone in the press corps please ask the White House what was funny about this?
Are you saying that the president finds the idea of canceling elections funny?
Andrew, were you in the room? No, you weren't. I was in the room. I heard the conversation.
Okay. It was a you had to be there thing, but none of us be there. If I was in the room, then I would have gotten it from his tone. It's like when Chris Rock tells a joke about black people. It works in the room, but it doesn't work later when Stephen Miller retells it at a Klan meeting. It's no secret that things have not been great in the old US of A lately. Government shock troops are rampaging through the streets. Billionaires are stripping our last remaining news outlets for parts. And I just bought a pint of raspberries that cost $43. But don't worry, President Trump has an announcement that's going to turn everything around.
America is back.
There's a new hat. We just came out. America is back.
America is back. Thanks for that inspiring halftime speech, Coach. Team, I know we're down 55-0, but on the other hand, I made a hat. Hope that helps. Good luck in the second half. It's bad enough they release hats as often as iPhone updates, but it doesn't even look like Trump's heart is in this one. Can someone ask him a fun question to cheer him up a bit? And please make sure it's not about a subject that he's desperately trying to avoid.
A lot of women who are survivors of Epstein's are unhappy with those redactions that came out. Some of them, entire witness interviews are totally blacked out.
Caitlin Collins, ixnay on the dead edophile pay. This is supposed to be a fun merch drop. Trying to hold the president to account is really killing the vibe here. Mr. President, why don't you answer the question in the dignified and respectable manner that we've come to expect?
You know, she's a young woman. I don't think I've ever seen you smile. I've known you for 10 years. I don't think I've ever seen a smile on your face.
I'm asking you about survivors.
You know why? You know why you're not smiling? Because you know you're not telling the truth.
Damn. That is messed up. Can I talk to the president alone for just a second? Hey, DJ, a few thoughts, all right? I don't know if there's ever a time to tell a reporter to smile, but I'm almost positive it's not when she's asking you about sex trafficking victims.
President Trump just told the New York Post that a secret new U.S. weapon was used in that operation that captured Maduro to shut down Venezuelan equipment. He said the discombobulator.
The discombobulator? That sounds like the worst ride at Six Flags. Don't go over there, dude. Somebody puked on the discombobulator. Personally, I don't think our most advanced new weapons should have whimsical names. If I'm shot by a laser that liquefies my organs until they leak out of my eyes, I don't want it to tell my family that I was dinky zoinked to death. Can anyone follow up with the president about this weapon?
You talked about the weapon, the discombobulator. What is that?
Discombobulator. Well, I'm not allowed to talk about it.
But what does it do?
Let me just tell you, you know what it does? None of their equipment works. That's what it does.
Okay. So you said you're not allowed to talk about it, but it kind of feels like you talked about it? This dude cannot keep a secret. This is how you know there's no aliens. Because day one, Trump would have been like, I'm not supposed to say anything, but they have 3 boobs. But thanks. Yeah, 3 boobs. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I love this audience. But thanks for the lowdown on the discombobulator, by the way. Who came up with this name?
It was my name. I'm very proud of the name.
Yeah. And it is a great name, Mr. President. It does not sound like a weapon in Paw Patrol at all. But still, can you be a bit more specific about how the discombobulator discombobulates? Like, is it a laser beam or electrical pulse?
Everything was discombobulated. It was, you know, practically a shot wasn't, you know, they were ready.
Right.
And when we came, they couldn't do anything.
You saw this on the video. You could tell.
Tom, it discombobulated everything.
Tom, you f***ing idiot. What part of discombobulator don't you understand? Do you think I'm just talking nonsense here? For the past week, people have been poring over the Epstein files and learning all the connections he had to the rich and powerful. Few people have been as disgraced as former Prince Andrew. But somehow, this next batch has made him even disgracier.
Former Prince Andrew has moved out of his longtime Windsor home, his brother, the king, evicting him from the royal estate over his links to Jeffrey Epstein.
Wow, kicked out by his own brother, who is also his second cousin and his 5th uncle 12th removed. The point is, there's a lot of incest in the royal family. I'm glad he's getting evicted, and I think we can all agree it is much funnier when a British pedophile has to go door to door in their new neighborhood like, "Oi, Governor, I'm a pedo, innit? Cheerio." Anyway, let's check out the shithole that former Prince Andrew's being sent to.
Andrew has moved to a cottage on the King's private estate in Sandringham, far from the public eye.
Sandringham is a sprawling estate. It's set on 80 square kilometres of grounds. There are multiple houses and cottages that are on this site.
Oh, no. Not a cottage on the private estate. Only 2 butlers. And are we sure we want Prince Andrew far from the public eye? That's kind of how we got into this mess. If you ask me, he should have a 24-hour webcam on him like a pregnant giraffe at the zoo. So to Trump supporters, I'm sorry, but you have to admit he's gone back on his promise by starting a new war.
This isn't a war. We haven't declared war on Iran.
I don't know if this is technically a war.
Strategic strikes are not war.
Nobody should classify this as war. It is combat operations.
Sure. It's a strategic combat operations. Guys, you can call it whatever you want. We all know it's a war. This reminds me of how my Aunt Trudy, she used to bring her so-called roommate to Thanksgiving every year. We all knew they weren't roommates. They were soulmates, and they were scissoring. The war with Iran is just like my 2 gay aunts. Shown here exactly how they look. By the way, this all seems a little familiar. Where else have I recently heard such a pathetic attempt to not call a war a war?
Russian forces began hitting targets in Ukraine overnight. Russian President Vladimir Putin announced what he called a special military operation. He refused to call it a war.
Ah, great. Always good for the country to have the same messaging strategy as Vladimir Putin. We don't need Trump copying more shit Putin does. It's a slippery slope that could lead to the worst possible scenario, Trump going shirtless. And I know they don't want to admit it's a war because that would require Congress's approval and directly contradict President Trump's promises. But they're also so desperate not to call it a war that one conservative newscaster is arguing with his own graphics package.
All right, war
with Iran? Maybe it's war in Iran.
War from Iran? War via Iran? But Trump's right. You don't want a new leader who is just as bad as the old one. So I'm sure the administration has a deep bench of candidates ready to step up, right? Right?
President Trump said some Iranian officials his administration was hoping could take over have been killed in the war.
Well, most of the people we had in mind are dead. So, you know, we had some in mind from that group that is dead. And now we have another group. They may be dead also.
Okay. Well, the good thing is there's a third group. Oh, what's that? They're dead also? And the fourth group's dead? And the fifth group's dead. They're all dead. I cannot believe this. You killed all the candidates. Even the ones who were willing to accept a lower salary because they appreciated the potential for long-term career growth? Now, if I was Iran, I'd do what my middle school did when my English teacher had a baby and just let a gym teacher be the Ayatollah for a little while. But apparently they have another plan.
So who is running Iran? The late Ayatollah's son has reportedly emerged as a leading candidate.
Boring. Come on, dude. You're not supposed to follow in your dad's footsteps. Where's your rebellious spirit? I don't want to be the supreme leader, Dad. I just want to dance. But I guess Secretary Pete's bravado clears one thing up. This is very much a war, which puts him at odds with what senators like Mark Wayne Mullen have been saying.
This isn't a war. We haven't declared war.
We are not at war with Iran.
This isn't a war.
This isn't a war with Iran.
Yeah. Not a war? I thought it was obviously a war since, you know, you've been speaking next to a map of all the places we're bombing in the war. Also all the, you know, and the I don't know how it all works, okay? And I'm not the only one who's confused by this because it seems like Mark Wayne is also getting confused.
This is war, and we're taking out the threat. And if you're part of the threat, then you're a target.
You'll concede this is war.
We haven't declared war. They declared war on us, but we haven't.
War. Secretary Hicks said
we haven't declared.
Just now, you said this is war.
They called it war.
They called it war. What I was saying. Okay, well, that was a misspoke.
Yeah. Did he say that was a misspoke? Hard to believe the guy who said he did a misspoke did a misspoke. Now, I know it seems like Mark Wayne's contradicting himself, but what you got to understand is that Mark thinks this is a war, but Wayne thinks it's not. And his second term has been a model of stability. It's been an entire year, and he hasn't fired a single cabinet member. Wow. I mean, with that level of consistency, you got to imagine that the first one to finally get canned would have to be a real embarrassment, an absolute disappointment. Just a totally incompetent, unprofessional, dipshitty.
Breaking news into CNN. Kristi Noem is out as the Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security.
Yes! Yes! And now that she's gone, the Trump administration is going to be great. Wait, I tricked you. But that's right, you heard Trump, Kristi. Time to turn in your badge and your cowboy hat and your bigger cowboy hat and your flak jacket and your night vision goggles and your firefighter costume. Oh, and also your camel. What was your job again? Now, this firing comes right after she was called into Congress for a hearing about her many controversies. There was the handling of ICE in Minnesota, accusations of corruption. There's also rumors she's been having an affair with her also married special advisor, Corey Lewandowski, on a private jet with a bedroom in the back. But I mean, I'm sure members of Congress, they're not going to go there.
Could you explain this?
Sir, I'm looking at a picture of an interior. Looks like a bedroom.
Of an airplane?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
God damn. Can you imagine being confronted about your affair with a picture of the actual bed that's so big the cameraman had to zoom out? But don't play coy with us, U.S. Congress. If you've got a question to ask Kristi Noem, just ask it.
So, Secretary Noem, have you had sexual relations with Corey Lewandowski?
Holy shit. finally, one of these hearings is going to get interesting, you know? Normally it's just blah, 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 human rights violations, blah, 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 concentration camps, blah, blah, blah. This is probably the first time Kristi Noem wanted to be like, lo siento, no hablo inglés. But hey, here's your chance to put this whole Corey Lewandowski rumor to bed. Bad choice of words. Either way, Kristi, set these people straight.
I am shocked that we're going down and peddling tabloid garbage in this committee today in the federal government.
So reclaiming
and
my
as an
time,
advisor,
Secretary, it is okay for
no,
you to be
no
offended
authority
by
to
the
be
question.
making any
it
decisions.
It is okay for you to
has
be
no
offended
authority
by the
to
question.
be making
but it
decisions
is also a real question.
So what I would say
and
to
you should be able to
is
answer
that
the
what
question
we do at the Department of Homeland Security
clearly
every single
and without
day,
any hesitation.
every single day is...
Hey, let Kristi Noem finish. At least that's my advice to Corey Lewandowski. It wasn't even the affair that got her canned. If anything, the sex plane probably bought her a few weeks, you know? Trump was like, she's a huge embarrassment in every way, except for that flying palace. Game recognized game. And don't worry too much about Kristi. She's already got a new job that's every bit as important.
The current Secretary, Kristi Noem, will be moving to be special envoy for the Shield of the Americas, our new security initiative in the Western Hemisphere.
Ah, yes, yes. The special envoy for the Shield of the Americas Western Hemisphere division. You know it's a promotion when the job was just invented 6 minutes ago using refrigerator magnets. I can't wait to see what outfit she'll wear for that. But now that Noem's out at Homeland Security, who's replacing her? You know what? I don't care who it is, just as long as it's someone with one first name.
The president has named Oklahoma Senator Markwayne Mullin to be the next DHS secretary.
God damn it! Now, obviously, Markwayne Mullin can't be senator and a cabinet secretary at the same time. So the way it works is Mark will serve as Oklahoma senator while Wayne will run DHS. I turn. Good luck to Markwayne, and congrats to Corey Lewandowski. He now gets to bang Markwayne Mullin on that plane.
Here at DHS, we see the long airport lines, and we've sent ICE agents to help out. But we're not stopping there. Today, we're introducing ICE PreCheck, the program that speeds you through airport security, ICE style. Just pull up to the curb and a friendly masked agent will drag you by your hair directly to your gate. You won't even have to remove your shoes. And if you want to keep your laptop in your bag, no problem, unless we decide it's a problem. In which case, take your laptop out of your bag. But you can leave your belt on.
ICE Pre saved me so much time. Now I can relax and get ready for my flight to South Sudan.
ICE PreCheck makes the airport easy. Traveling with kids? Not anymore. The application process is simple. There isn't one. DHS and Palantir have already determined your eligibility based on their vast database of DNA.
Back on April 10th, Patel had trouble logging on to an internal computer system.
It was just a technical glitch, but Patel quickly became convinced he had been locked out, and he panicked, frantically calling aides and allies to announce he had been fired by the White House.
Whoa, whoa. Calm down, Cash. How paranoid are you if the moment you have trouble logging into your computer, you think you got fired? Oh, no, they fired me. Get me on a plane to China. I'm going to tell them all my secrets. I hate this country and everybody in it. Oh, wait, I just had the caps lock on. Everything's cool. God, I need a drink. But it is concerning that the guy who's supposed to be the country's top investigator can't crack the case of logging into his own computer. No wonder he's off. What else does he have to say about this article?
We are not going to take this laying down. You want to attack my character? Come at me. Bring it on.
Yeah, that's right. He's not going to take this laying down, because then they'd have to get the SWAT team in to wake him up. But now, as a part of his lawsuit, Cash argues that under his leadership, the FBI has achieved historic law enforcement results, which, even if that were true, doesn't prove anything, People can accomplish incredible things when they're drunk. If Tiger Woods can successfully park in a ditch, then Cash Patel can be like, hey, go arrest some bad guys. Come on, Cash Money. You got to give me a better defense than that. Try again.
This FBI director has been on the job twice as many days as every director before me. What that means is I've taken half as many days off as those before me. What that means is I've taken a third less vacation than those before me.
Let me just check the math real quick. So we got twice as many days plus half as many over a third less. Yeah, I think he's wasted. But it's like, it just says boobs. But sorry, I interrupted. You were talking about how all the Christians were driven out of Monterey, California. So what happened next?
And it's really, Monterey is a very dark place now. Yeah. A lot of witchcraft and the Wiccan community has really taken over there. And we can't let that happen in Virginia.
Yeah. No, yeah, we can't let Virginia be taken over by witches. Also, I have a follow-up question. What the f*** are you talking about? Why? I mean, why is everybody they appoint so f***ing crazy? Can they just find a normal person with a normal head on his shoulders who believes normal things? What kind of sailors does this guy even want to recruit?
When you're using a drag queen to recruit for the Navy, that's not the people we want. What we need is alpha males and alpha females.
Alpha females, right. So drag queens. Maybe he's right. Maybe he's right. Maybe we need alpha males who will beat the out of our enemies and alpha females who will mock their insecurities so precisely they'll never leave the house again. Boring. Oh, I'm sorry. Is wrapping up the war you started not interesting enough? Yes, peace talks are boring. But guess what? Important things are boring. Like picking up your kids from school. That's why I don't do it. A life hack. The school will just drop them off at your house. They'll tell you they won't do it again, but guess what? They don't want your kids either. But all right, I guess the president couldn't care less about Netanyahu dragging him back into a very boring war.
The president initially said he couldn't care less, but hours later, he was on the phone with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Sources describing the call as tense, with President Trump fuming at Netanyahu over the escalation.
Well, well, well. Turns out he only pretended not to care, but he actually did care. Just like me when my penis doctor said it actually is too late to turn things around. Yeah, Kosta's penis. But look, Trump and Bibi have been best friends for a while, so how tense could this call really have been?
Axios reports that Trump said to Netanyahu, "You're f***ing crazy. You'd be in prison if it weren't for me. I'm saving your ass."
The president added, quote, "Everybody hates you now."
Damn! Everybody hates you now? The president then added, "Best friends for never." TTYL, talk to you never. But it seems that Trump is starting to suspect that Netanyahu might be deliberately derailing the peace talks just to keep the United States in the war. To which I'd like to say, ding, 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 dumbass! Why are we always watching Donald Trump discover shit that everyone else knew this whole time? He had no idea that peace in the Middle East is hard. He had no idea that the Strait of Hormuz is where oil goes through. And now he's like, wait a minute, does anyone else think the international war criminal is kind of shady?